we've had a casualty on the homestead. We're Stephen and Mags, and together with our 3 kids, Louis, Neve and Oliver, we're starting out on the biggest adventure of our lives, swapping city life for an off-grid homestead. After years of dreaming about making a change, we sold our house in the UK, packed up all our belongings and made the 1,500-mile trip to southern Spain, with the hopes of creating the dream family home and a new life in the sun. Follow our story from the very beginning as we begin the journey of creating our off-grid home. Good morning, buenos dias. So we're back. All our little seedlings are doing okay from the other day that we planted, and all the leeks that we transplanted into the containers are all taken in well. Today we've got, well, it's an exciting day for the kids because they're made up. But we've finally been granted our fire licence. So during the week we've had a couple of fires already to try and get rid of some of the stuff that we've got around. You can probably see the piles of it that we've got there just in the background. But the back part by the chicken coop where you've seen this clean before was really, really overgrown. And we have 3?
Yeah,
3 fires already, trying to clear it out. And we're making really good progress. So I'm going to turn you around and show you what we've done so far. Here we go. This was just all overgrown, probably the height of Mags. Some of it the height of me. But we are making really good progress in clearing it all out. So we've now got a nice clear path going into the chicken coop, and obviously the chicken coop's all clear. We've still got a little bit to work on over there. You can see some of them are still really tall. But this is the area we're going to clear up for keeping the bees so that they're protected from the wind behind the tree and in between the building. But this part was just getting really uncontrollable. But what we did is we had a fire here and a fire over there. And then before we covered it all up and raked it all up, we collected all the what we think is biochar. So we put it out just before it turned to ash. We're planning on using some of this in the garden. There's still a lot of rubbish that keeps getting left by the farmers that come and see the rest of the land where all this is. And again, we did the same on here. But we're going to leave this one and we're going to have another fire on today because there's plenty more to burn, isn't there?
Yes, it is. So this is the first one we're going to get rid of today, or at least just the top layer, and then we're thinking that we might keep the bottom layer and just add some compost to it and have like a little wildflower bed or something. We can't get rid of it all, it's been here since well before we were here, so we're just trying to just get rid of some of the top part and then see how far we get down. We've also got a bit round here, which is the palm trees and different trees that we put down since well before Christmas, which is this. This is an issue because we waited since before Christmas for our fire licence. We have put the fire licence in, but in Andalusia there's a bit of a debate about having a fire licence. We finally got it Monday or Wednesday, something like that, and now we can start burning. So this is a big job, so I think the fire will be going, well, the fire can only go on till 2 o'clock in Andalusia, so hopefully we'll make a little dent on that too.
So once 2 o'clock's hit and then we can't burn any more and the fires are out, we're going to start working on this. So we're going to try and start clearing it up. There's Diego come to join us, look. Start clearing it up, moving all the boxes out, putting some cardboard down on the floor and some mulch, and then turn it into some sort of vegetable, herb, flower garden, yeah?
Yeah, it's the bit I'm most excited about, this little bit. I think it'll be quite nice. It'll be something nice to look at as opposed to the rubble that it is now.
Yeah, and we've got some trellises to go on the wall. We're going to plant climbing flowers like sweet peas, normal peas, etc. up there as well to try and screen it out a little bit and make it look a little bit prettier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we crack on and get the fire started?
Yeah. So we've started building the fire. Steve's just making it a little bit bigger and clearing some of the brush from this area, which is really, really dry, so it should burn really quite quickly and well. But it's getting a bit bigger. We've cleared all the area around it, so it can't spread. So after many failed attempts, the fire's finally lit. And we've got to put it out by 2 o'clock, so hopefully it burns fast.
Cute. The fire's not so cute anymore. It's going down.
Right, put them back somewhere. So, if you believe it, it started raining in Spain. We get very, very little rain, and today is the day we decided to make a fire, and it's just started raining, so we've got to take the camera in. But that is all we've got left, is a tiny little bit just there. It's another wheelbarrow full. All this has been cleared. We just need to obviously pick all the last bits up. Some of this is still going to go, but most of it will now be compacted, and then we're going to cover it over. And the big pile of concrete joists that were there, we've lined against the edge of the wall, and what we're planning on doing is filling that up and having it as a raised bed and grow comfrey and lettuces and stuff that we can then just chuck over the wall to the chickens who are in there. We've cleared more of this, so again it's going down, it's getting there, and that's what's left of the fire. Don't think that was bad, and we are on 20 to 2. So the rain's come pretty much at the right time because we have to put this out in a minute anyway. But just, I love the way it looks now when you look up. It looks so much more open. We've just obviously got a lot of tidying up to do. But it's getting there so much better than what it was. For now, I'll leave you with the fire, and we're going to go and put the camera in before it rains too heavily and just finish off tidying up. Probably hear the chickens in the background. So it's another day, and the reason why it's another day is we've all had a touch. Well, I've had a touch of the man flu. Mike's has had it. Louis and Ollie have had it. There's only Neve who's staying strong out of all of us. So the other day when we left, it started raining. After we had the rain, we then got really bad wind, which just prevented any sort of filming outside. Although we did do stuff outside, we just couldn't film because the wind was too bad. And then came the frost. So we've had some really cold nights, some really freezing temperatures. Waking up in the morning, everything's covered in ice, which I think has had an effect in the garden. We've spotted a few things over there already, so I'll take it over and show you in the garden in a minute. The chickens have done really well, and we're still getting eggs every day, even though it's really cold. And they are still working through the piles that we've made for them. Now, we haven't talked about this yet, but what we're trying to do is get the chickens to turn all our cuttings, all the straw and twigs and leaves and stuff that come out the garden into compost for us. And we've seen it on a few channels already, where you make mounds. We keep the mounds watered so that they stay wet all the time. The chickens then get fed on top of the mounds, and they scratch through it all till they get to the bottom, which turns it over. We rake it all back up again, and the cycle continues. And what we're finding now is at the bottom of those piles we're getting some really black, dark, nice compost. So it's working because the chickens are pooping on top, which is obviously nitrogen which is going into it, and they're sorting through it every day. It takes about 2 or 3 days for them to get the piles right the way down, and then we rake off what's left of it back into the middle. But it's making some really nice compost, so I'll show you them. I've got some food left over from the bag that didn't fit in the box. I'm going to put some of that on top of the piles for a bit of extra food so that they can make a bit more warmth, because it's going to be another cold night. So let me feed them. Come on, Blackie, there. The chickens are really good, you know, over the morning when we bring them out. We let them out the door, and the first thing they do is run straight to the piles to be fed, because they know they're on there. And I'll just show you what they do. So you can see some of the divots in it where they're digging down. But if I move some of this, you can see the stuff underneath is much darker. When we get down, we're starting to get some nice compost at the bottom. You can see again, they've scratched right down to this one today. But the type of stuff it's turning into is like this. Look, some of the seeds have started rooting as well from the feed. But this is the type of thing that's at the bottom of it, and this is the stuff then that we're hoping that we'll be able to rotivate into the garden, which is lovely. And because the soil quality is not great, it's very clay-like. But all this stuff should be really good for it, and hopefully we'll get a nice crop this year. So I'm going to leave them be and head over to the garden. That's the chickens all seen to. What I need to do now is just put out a fire that we started a bit earlier on, because it's getting to 2 o'clock and we're only allowed to burn until 2 on our fire licence. We've burned the very last pile of rubbish that we had, well, leaves and cuttings. It was all the cuttings from the orange trees, etc., that we had on this side. And we're just going to put that out, and then I'll show you what's happened in the garden. So the last thing I want to show you is that we've had a casualty on the homestead. So with it being really cold and with the freezing temperatures, the little garden has suffered terribly. So we've had some damage to the plants that we were growing. Broccoli and cabbage aren't looking too good. However, the worst one hit was our potatoes. And now we've not long covered them up, mounded the hills up so that they grow a little bit bigger. And we come out this morning and this is what we've got. The whole row of potatoes is destroyed. Look at them. So we've got some digging to do. I'm going to have to dig out all the potatoes underneath and see whether or not they've survived, or whether the cold really did get down that deep that it's affected them too. Let's have a little look at one though and see. You can just see the leaves are just destroyed on them. So I mean, it was really, really cold, but let's see what we've got underneath. The soil's still quite damp anyway. Oh. Oh. Nearly fell over. There we go. A few little ones. I can feel them. I reckon we're only getting new potatoes out of this. Oh, there we go. Some new potatoes. So not many actually, most of them on that little plant are little, apart from this big one that's in there. There are a few little ones. Where did they go? Let's try the next one. I'll feel one. Ooh. There we go. Well, that's disappointing, isn't it? There doesn't seem to be that many big potatoes in there anyway, but it will remain to be seen when we pick out the rest of them. I mean, some of these plants up this way were really big and have just been reduced to nothingness, so we'll get to work on that. Might post the results of what we've got on our Facebook and Instagram pages once we've picked them all out. But yeah, first casualty, they're all gone. Let me just give it a quick look at what else we've got. Row of carrots. They just don't seem to be liking this spot for some reason and aren't growing or thriving. They've been in for absolute ages. These are beetroot. Garlic in a heart shape. There's garlic, coffee heart, Ollie says. These are nabos, so little turnips again. All the leaves have just suffered a really strong wind, followed by the ice, but you can see them, they're still growing at the bottom. These again were carrots. These were heirloom carrots, or the multicoloured variety, but haven't done well. You can just see the tops of them are just getting ravaged by something. Replacement broccoli that we put in, and then a lot of the broccoli suffered with this getting blown out the ground by the wind because the wind was so strong. Cabbages, you can see there are some broccoli heads starting just there. Cabbages, let's see what's in this. You can see them just forming at the bottom. And purple cabbages over there. And onions. The onions seem to be doing okay. They've stood up a little bit better. So that's where we're up to. But what we're going to get to do now is use some of the char, the biochar that we've created over there, mix it into the soil, try and make the soil a bit better, add some more compost, and then start rotivating and getting ready for planting out. And that's where we're up to so far, after all the wind, the rain and the ice. Well, that's where I want to leave it for today. I'm going to go and get mags and we're going to try and harvest some of them potatoes and save what we can. If you've enjoyed the video, give us a like, a thumbs up. Don't forget to share the video. Thanks again for everyone's comments, both on YouTube and on social media. It's really appreciated, and we shall see you in the next one. Hasta luego.